Hi again then guys, and welcome to another drag build for the world of Gran Turismo Sport. And I was surprised by just how popular the last one was for the R32. The response was very good. The drag tunes on GT6 were of course very popular, but the drag community was much bigger on that game, so I wasn't sure exactly how popular that one would be, but it was received very well. So now we are moving on to the natural successor, the R34. We're upping it by over 100 horsepower, and although, as you can see, it is listed under my drift setup, it's not. You don't have to put it there. You can put it under road if you want to. You can even put it under dirt if you want to, but of course you're limited as far as tyres. The only reason why I've got it listed under drift is because I already have a circuit setup listed under the road setting, and I didn't want to change that. So, as far as upgrades, I would recommend doing everything to it. Drop the weight as much as you can, increase the power as much as you can. Of course, dependent on what the lobby is allowing. Traction control you definitely want turned off. We've got racing super softs, which kind of makes up for the lack of NOS on this game. But of course, it's down to personal preference. Some people, I think, don't like using those. They consider it to be a bit of a cop-out. You know, each to his own, whatever. As far as the suspension, we've got the ride height on 110, front and rear. The frequency we've got on 1.5, which is the lowest possible. Anti-roll as high as possible, as I said for the R32, to keep the car nice and straight and true. You want to take up that drive and that launch off the line with a little bit of softness, but you don't want it rocking from side to side. Of course, it's not a cornering tune, it's just designed for straight lines. As far as compression, we've got that on 58, which is as low as possible. Once again, that's to take up that drive off the line without bottoming out the suspension, and also without being too harsh on the bounce side of things. Then for the rebound, we've got it a little bit higher on 90, so that the car can sway down under its acceleration for launch, but then rise back up again a little bit more slowly. So you're not just wallowing up and down like a classic American limo. You want it to take up that drive, but then return to the normal position steadily and with enough force to keep it there. Then, as far as the camber, we're running neutral on that for maximum tyre contact to the road. Neutral toe as well, totally unnecessary on a drag car. Not anti-roll, downforce I should say. You want as low as possible, for sure. As far as the drivetrain, the diff specifically, we've got the initial torque as low as possible. Both acceleration and braking I like to have as high as possible. To be honest, that's more for handling though, so it's really irrelevant. Just go for whatever you want. And as far as the gearbox, we've got the fully customised transmission with an auto setting of 249, so not quite the highest, but fairly long gearing. Then for the individual gears, 2.780, 1.7, 1275, 1 point, that should be on 0.800, I'm not sure why that moved, and 0.720. Then for the final drive, I've actually left that on 3.545. Now you can change that if you want to, for sure, but I find that it's actually pretty good with that. If you lengthen it a bit more, say down to 3.500, then you might find it a little bit quicker. But as always, I do like to leave these tunes in almost an experimental phase, so that they are more than capable of beating most people who you will come up against. But at the same time, I like to leave things for you guys to do, because at the end of the day, I'm not just teaching you to copy what I'm doing, it's about you developing your own style, using these as kind of a template, if you will. So that's it for the overall build. Now, as always, let's take it out to a nice long straight road to see what it can do. Now, of course, with 100 horsepower more, you would hope and assume that this would be quicker than the R32. And it is. The 0 to 60 time is about the same, 2.1 at least according to my timing. The 0 to 100 though is 0.1 quicker, 4.3 to 4.4 on that car. The 0 to 150 though, and from there beyond, is where you really notice the difference. 8.9 to 150. 175 arrives in 12.8, which is 2 seconds faster than the R32, and this one can hit 200 in just over 18 seconds. And incidentally, as you can also see briefly in this video, you can even get it to top out at over 230, even on the straight here, which it's a pretty long straight, but it's not the longest of straights. So it definitely has top speed potential as well, if you need it to. So if you do decide to use this drag build, which is basically just an all-distance build for whatever you need, you could also use it for pulls as well, not just launch. So I hope you enjoy it, have a lot of fun with it, and definitely refine it, use your own style, put your own spin on it, to really make it your own. That's the whole point of these tunes. So, if you did enjoy this, you can check out, of course, other drag builds and circuit builds as well by clicking through to see those at the end of this video. And of course, if you want to see new videos as soon as they're released, slap subscribe down below. But for now, as always, thanks for watching.